Excuse me. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Happy Memorial Day weekend. Welcome back to Peanut Speaks. I am your girl, Peanut. Hope everybody's having a good, safe weekend, getting out, doing what you're allowed to do. I'm getting ready to go to a cookout, and y'all, my cup is not dirty. That's cinnamon, just for y'all that want to pick. I had to jump on here before I leave and share with you guys. I can't even hardly say this. So I was scrolling in my news feed and on the Fox News and all that kind of stuff. And there is a Harvard law professor. Some of you may have already saw this, but there is a Harvard law professor that says that a police state is very imminent and that forced vaccinations are legal and constitutional. Yeah, I'm going to let you guys watch. I'll be right back. This is going to blow you all away. I mean, seriously, have a look.
They're scrambling to create a working vaccine for the coronavirus. If they succeed in doing that, it will be one of the fastest rollouts of a vaccine in human history. Now, in this country of 330 million people, some will not want to take it. Some will have religious objections. Some will be nervous about the effects of it. So what happens then? Well, retired law professor Alan Dershowitz, a famous civil libertarian, says these objections won't matter. If the government wants to, the government has the right to seize you and inject the vaccine by force.
Let me put it very clearly. You have no constitutional right to endanger the public and spread a disease, even if you disagree. You have no right not to be vaccinated. You have no right not to wear a mask. You have no right to open up your business.
Professor Dershowitz is the author of the book Guilt by Association, among many other books. We're happy to have him on tonight. Professor, thanks so much for coming on.
Well, thank you. The name of the book is Guilt by Accusation. So
by accusation, but I changed the title because I like that one. But no, I'm just kidding. I made a mistake. Thanks for correcting it.
Sure.
So I introduced you, obviously correctly. You're probably the most famous civil libertarian in America. And I understand the argument that you're making, which is you don't have a right to endanger other people. Your right to punch ends with the tip of my nose. I understand the argument. But there is also, in the specific case of a vaccine, a risk to the individual taking it because vaccines are good for populations, but in some rare cases, sometimes not that rare, they can hurt people. That's factually true. Does the government still have a right to endanger you by forcing you to take it?
The Supreme Court has said yes, and if the case came to the Supreme Court today, they would say yes. It would either be 9-0 or 8-1. It is not a debatable issue constitutionally. Look, they have a right to draft you and put your life in danger to help the country. The police power of the state is very considerable. But let's distinguish between the constitutional issue on the one hand, which is settled, and the moral issue on the other hand. I think one can make a plausible argument that nobody should be required to be subject to a dangerous vaccination to help other people. That's a plausible argument. And I think we should continue to debate that. I wouldn't require people to take the vaccine unless it was proved very, very safe. Now, any injection can cause, obviously, infection at the site. Any pill can cause a problem. But in general, if the vaccine is deemed extremely safe, then the state does have a right to compel you to take it. Because remember, vaccines work on a theory of mass inoculation. You're not taking the vaccine to help yourself. If there were a vaccine developed for cancer or a heart condition, obviously, you and I would have a right to say, no, we have a right to die. I believe you have a right to die. But I don't believe you have a right to be Typhoid Mary and spread it. Look, if you don't want to take the vaccine, you have an option. You can stay in quarantine. But what you don't have the right to do is circulate in society without being vaccinated if the vaccine is proved to be very safe. And that could be a matter of...
Proved to be. And that's I think, a stumbling block. There is so much lying about vaccines, probably on all sides, but there certainly is lying about vaccines because public health authorities don't want people, they want people to take them. And I get it, but people are nervous. Let me ask you, though, by the same reasoning, since we all, we have, in effect, socialized medicine, we're all affected by the health choices our neighbors make, why should we allow people to eat Little Debbie snack cakes when we're all paying for diabetes treatment?
Well, I've just written another book about that. It'll be out in a month. It's called The Case for Liberalism in an Age of Extremism, in which I have a chapter on that. And I say, no, that argument doesn't work. It's the old John Stuart Mill argument. And you have to just say you can never make somebody do anything only for their own good, even if it has collateral impacts on the rest of us. No man is an island. We know that. And in the world in which we live, if you get fat and get sick, we pay for it. That's not enough as a civil libertarian. But the spread of a deadly, highly contagious illness is enough for a civil libertarian. But I want to have a rule of reason. I don't believe in shutting down a whole society or putting people in jail for not wearing masks. You have to have a rule of reason. If the vaccine is very effective and very safe, I would start, by the way, by having people volunteer first. I wouldn't compel them first, but you might get to a point where healthy people, without any risk, considerable risk to themselves, say no, and then if the state decides to compel them, they would win in the Supreme Court of the United States. That's my expert prediction as a constitutional lawyer. Would I take the vaccine myself? Of course I would. Would I require my 10-year-old great-grandson or something to take it? That might be a different issue, because there the risk may exceed of taking the vaccine, maybe arguably exceed the benefit to the child, because COVID is not particularly dangerous to children. These are issues that ought to be debated. We ought to continue to have the debate. Free speech. Let's make sure the anti-vaxxers get to say their thing. But in the end of the democracy, you vote. And in the end, I think that if we have a safe vaccine, and we all hope we have a vaccine, warp speed is the president's term. It's a good term as long as we make sure we don't compromise safety in the process.
Yeah, I think a free debate is a prerequisite for all of this. As long as, and this is happening now, pulling people off the internet because they disagree with them, and that makes me trust nobody. Exactly. Professor, thank you so much.
We have to have.
Whew. All right, you guys. So you see it there. That's not hearsay. That was posted one day ago to the Fox News site. And I just really want you guys to think about what's going on. I really want you guys to ask yourself, when the time comes, I'm not going to say if the time comes, because we all see that it is coming. When the time comes, what are you going to stand for? Are you going to let them come in and force a markup on you or your children? Something that, I mean, you can hear in the video, he's like, well, we want volunteers to see, but you can't go out and affect everyone. And did you catch the main point? He said that if you refuse to vaccinate, you will be in forced quarantine. Now, notice he did not say we will quarantine you to your homes. He just said you will be in forced quarantine. Wake up, America. This is not a drill. This is not a live exercise anymore. This is the real deal. You guys, get prepared. Think about what you're going to do. Think about where you're going to go. This is not a joke. This is not going away. And if that wasn't enough, if you don't think this is also about surveillance on top of that, have a look at this.
Places to get the circles on the ground to encourage social distancing, and we are seeing people use them, but they'll be put to the test this Memorial Day weekend to see how well they're helping. They're made quickly, 10-foot circles at Little Marina Green.
I actually think it's good to have like a nonverbal signal to remind people that they should only be close to people that they actually live with.
A visual reminder to keep up the social distancing during the pandemic. Some neighbors like the pilot program by San Francisco Rec and Park. It's already being used in New York.
You know, it's going to be Memorial Day weekend, so everybody's going to be out here. The weather's going to be nice.
Dolores Park got the circles yesterday, creating a game board look. There are signs for social distancing, and many people do. But at one point, crowds were big enough that the mayor threatened to shut it down. Now, Washington Square in North Beach has the circles too. Supervisor Peskin supports it, but one neighbor says she was disappointed by it.
I think it's really sad that we have resorted to putting markings on grass to help people do the right thing.
It's going to be hot. It's getting hot. So far it seems good, but who knows?
Sue Waldman thinks it makes sense, but she wonders what might happen as the weather heats up. Today, she's waiting for a friend.
I'm saving a circle. See, now that could be a problem.
The grass at Jackson Playground will get circles too. In San Francisco, Christy Smith, NBC Bay Area News.
What the hell is the world coming to?
That looks like something out of a movie. And those circles on the ground and the 6 feet apart is because if you're all clumped up, your little chip that's going to be inside you won't read right. It won't get right data off of it. Think about it, people. Please wake up. Please wake up. Turn to the Lord. I'm telling you, ask the Father Yahweh and Yeshua, the Son's name, to come and repent. You guys, we are at the end. He is at the door, and he is getting ready to knock and come in. This is not a joke, people. Our freedoms are being yanked left and right. You mark my words. They keep saying we're going to have this dark winter. They're going to let these freedoms come up, because now I've got it on Fox News back there, which I don't believe any of what they say on TV. They're all actors and actresses. I could go on for days, people. And I'm right. If you think about it, you really know I'm right. But I was just hearing that Dr. Burke said that sunlight kills the virus. Well, a month ago, heat didn't kill the virus. Sunlight didn't kill the virus. So which is it? It's all a big smoke screen, and they're going to let us have these few freedoms for a little bit. And then that when it comes winter where people can't get outside and you can freeze to death and all this other stuff, they are going to drop the hammer. First, they were saying 18 months for a vaccine. I just heard that now they're talking about by the end of the year. And if you remember, Trump said that he was going to have the military in place, hence why they've been parking in rock quarries and everywhere else. Come on, people. He's going to have the military be going around to administer the vaccine. If you think for 1 second they won't yank your butt up and take you somewhere to quarantine, then you are out of your mind, and I cannot help you. I'm not trying to be mean, but I cannot sugarcoat any of this. And my computer behind me has went off about 5 times and reloaded because I'm on that very same page. Every time I try to relook it up, it reboots me off the page. That should tell you something right there. So anyway, enough rant for today. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day tomorrow. You guys stay safe, stay awake. God bless. I'm Peanut, and I'm out.